Hey everyone, it's Matt here from ARC Transportation. Shipping to a trade show can be a stressful event. Today I want to review 10 common mistakes that hopefully can save you some time, energy, and stress when you're shipping to your next trade show. The first mistake to avoid is not knowing your shipping options. There are two different areas of logistics that happen in a trade show. The first is moving your freight from your location to the event center, and the second is once it arrives at the event center, moving the freight within the trade show ecosystem and getting it to your actual booth location. Now, some people think that they must use the official show carrier to move their freight from their location to the event location, but that's just not true. As an exhibitor, you have your choice of carrier when moving your stuff from, again, your location or wherever it's coming from to either the advanced warehouse or directly to the show site. Number two, not knowing your shipping deadlines. Trade show logistics all happen in a very tight window, so you gotta make sure you understand the shipping deadlines, both for the advanced warehouse if you're planning to ship it early, or if you're shipping directly to the show, when your window of shipment can happen. This info is typically in the exhibitor pack that you're given when you sign up to exhibit or the quick facts. So you want to make sure to review this information as well as share it with your carrier so that both you and your carrier are on the same page of when your freight needs to get picked up and when it needs to be delivered. Number three, not choosing an experienced trade show carrier. A trade show shipment is very different than a traditional dock-to-dock shipment that many carriers are used to doing. Trade shows operate in a very tight time window with specific rules that must be followed by all carriers that are coming into shows. You want to make sure that your carrier understands the process as well as has experience delivering to some of these large convention centers, which can be quite challenging. Again, with so much on the line, you don't want to leave it up to an inexperienced carrier where you have a very short window to deliver. You want to make sure that you and your carrier are on the same page of exactly when your freight needs to be there. Number four, improper packaging. Now, it's easy to start stacking things on top of each other on a skid when you're shipping into a trade show, and often there's very fragile things that come in as TV monitors or lamps or lights. You want to make sure that everything you ship into a trade show is very well packaged and protected from damage during transit. Now, this could mean getting some plastic totes or travel road cases, even building custom crates if you need to. But remember, your stuff will be moved around on forklifts, it will be transported back and forth on trucks, and you need to protect your items from damage during this time. If you need some tips on how to properly package your trade show shipment, I'll leave a link below. Number five, forgetting your bill of lading. Your bill of lading is a document given to you by your carrier that has all the pertinent information about your freight, your piece count, the weights and dimensions of each piece. This is important information as you may be asked this when you deliver to a show. Your material handling costs are based typically on a weight charge, and so they may want to know this information when you show up to deliver at the show. The bill of lading will be given to you by your carrier, so you should be able to have it available if anyone's in need. Number six, underestimating material handling and drayage fees. Now, as I explained before, there are two different parts to a trade show shipment. First is moving from your location to the event center, and the second is once it hits the event center docks to be moved through that event center to your booth. Now, each show will typically give you an exhibitor packet that will have the fees associated with this material handling. The key thing to remember is that this is separate than your freight charge. Again, your freight is moving from your location to the event location, and the material handling or drayage is moving your booth material from the docks or from the advanced warehouse to your booth and then back to the docks or back to the advanced warehouse after the show. So you will have two separate charges. Now, it could be from the same company if you do use the official trade show carrier. So the first bill would be from your carrier who you chose to move to the show, and the second bill would be from the material handling company, which is usually the official logistics carrier. Number seven, not including a packing list or setup instructions. Having clear setup instructions is going to help the on-site team make sure that the booth is set up and built properly if it does contain a build, and the packing list will ensure that everything that is supposed to be there arrived and is at their disposal. This is especially important if the team that designed the booth is not the same team that's actually there at the trade show on the show floor. So again, you want to make sure you include clear setup instructions and a detailed packing list. Number eight, failing to plan for a return shipment. Often there is so much energy and planning that goes into exhibiting at a trade show that it can be easy to forget that once the show's over, you still need an outbound shipping plan. So when you're talking to your carrier, make sure that you do include an inbound shipment and an outbound shipment. If for some reason you forget to schedule your shipment, the official logistics provider will take your freight. They will, what's called in the industry, force your freight back to you, which means they will control the routing back to an address they typically have on file, and it typically comes at a heavy cost. So you want to avoid this if you can, and make sure you plan with your carrier to be there after the show to make sure to pick up your freight. Number 9 is not tracking your shipment. Now again, if your booth is moving from show to show and it's kind of on autopilot, you want to make sure you're still touching base with your carrier, making sure everything's on schedule, to know where your freight is, and that when you arrive at the show, everything will be there waiting for you. And finally, number 10 is the lack of a contingency plan. Unfortunately, bad things can happen in shipments. It's just the nature of the industry. When you're moving heavy pieces back and forth on trucks and warehouses, things can happen. So you want to make sure that if that's the case, there is a contingency plan in place where you can still get your value from the trade show. Obviously, it costs a lot of money to exhibit and to get your footprint there on the show floor, so you want to make sure you have a contingency plan just in case the worst case scenario happens. So avoiding these common mistakes should help you have a less stressful time planning and attending your trade show, and hopefully help to give you a more seamless experience. If you have any questions about trade show shipping, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to answer any questions, or if you need help moving shipments, of course, we can do that as well. Thanks for watching and have a great day.